So, hello everyone. Good afternoon. So, thank you so much for joining us today. We're super excited to have you on our Monday webinar. We've got an amazing session with Kevin, Director Sales from African Travel. So, he will talk about how African travel makes selling Africa easy. So, let's start. Kevin, take it away.
Thank you, Rochelle. What an absolute pleasure it is to be here with you guys. And I'm so glad we were able to set this up and bring just at least a little bit of a taste of African travel. I know we don't have a lot of time, and your time is very valuable. So we will try to move through it with efficiency and make sure that you get perhaps even a little bit of your time back today. But first and foremost, we are so proud and privileged to partner with you guys for all things Africa, particularly, and you'll see in a second when I show the map, Safari Africa. We at African Travel are the largest footprint of travel in Africa. We're also the largest tour operator based in North America who focuses exclusively on Africa. And as a result of that, our moniker is We Know Africa, purely and simply because it is true. Many of us that work for the company are actually born in Africa. I myself born and raised in Zambia, which is in central southern Africa. And those that were not born there either have lived there or certainly have traveled extensively to Africa. One of the things I love is when you guys work with us, you come back to me and you're like, Kevin, I was blown away by the first and foremost attention to detail, but by the knowledge of the people I was working with who were creating these itineraries for us, that it was just so incredible. And the bottom line about all of this and how what I'm going to show you today is we make selling Africa easy. We absolutely understand that for many of you, Africa can be a little intimidating. But our whole aim and mission in life is to make selling Africa easy. Even if you've never sold Africa before, we are going to make you look like a star who really knows Africa inside out and always round. And if any of you have sold it before, or you are in fact seasoned sellers of Africa, we are here because, as I said earlier, we are the largest footprint of travel in Africa, and we truly, truly believe in partnering with you. And as I said, even if you're seasoned in Africa, we are really on top of everything that's happening there minute by minute. So new things are coming up all the time, new lodges opening, sometimes closing, and it's very important. So I want you to see us as your back of house expert on all things Africa. Another really important thing that I think for you guys is to know that we do not sell directly to the public. We are all about you as advisors. I always say that you, as the advisor, are our client. Your client is our guest when they're traveling with us, but your client is your client and forever must remain so. And we will always respect that relationship. It is vitally, vitally important to us. So we've been in business for over 50 years. And as I said, we are the largest North American tour operator that focuses exclusively on Africa. Yes, there are other people who sell Africa, but they often sell many parts of the world, if not indeed the whole world. Another big thing about us is our commitment to sustainability with our Make Travel Matter programs. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a second separately, and how we look at safaris for every style. It doesn't matter where we travel to in the world, no two of us travel exactly alike. And therefore, it's so important to us that we ensure that we're getting that exactly right for your client. So, how do we differ from some of the others, and what really makes us stand out? Well, I've already talked about how we know Africa. And by the way, you'll see in the middle there, local here and there. What does that mean? Well, we are based here in North America. We have people spread all across both the United States and indeed Canada. And but we're also local in Africa. We have 16 of our own offices in Africa. So that means that when your clients arrive there, it is our people who are with them, who are meeting them as they step off the aircraft. 85% of everything we do is custom made. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second and how that differs from some of our small group departures. And we do offer one-stop shop. So if you're looking or need help with the international air, we absolutely can do that. We have contracts with all of the major airlines that service Africa. So we're absolutely able to help you with international air and, of course, regional air within Africa. That's so important because, those bush flight schedules, not easy to find. And it's this way, if we book all of the regional air for you within the itinerary in Africa, our people on the ground then have access to those reservations and they can make sure that everything is fine. And if something has to change at the very last minute, they've got the reservation, they can work on it, and away we go. All of this does allow us to provide a very high level of personalized service. And again, I come back to that making travel matter and how important it is, because that leads us to our R moment of the day. And this guy is our poster child. He is just, but he's so much more than the epitome of adorability and cuteness. He truly represents the future of Africa. And it's our mission to ensure that as he grows into adolescence and indeed into adulthood and has a family of his own, that the jungles, the bushlands, and so on of Africa will be there for him and all of the other wildlife to live in, thrive in, and to be the way that it was supposed to be for them from the start. So these are the countries that we're in Africa. We're currently in 16 different countries. As you can see, there is a big focus on Safari Africa with Eastern, Central, and Southern. Our nod to Northern Africa, of course, with Egypt and Morocco. And please don't forget, we're one of the very few companies that goes out into the Indian Ocean, and we do the island of Madagascar. Madagascar, of course, is like the Galapagos of Africa. 85% of the flora and fauna on that island found nowhere else on the planet, not even in other parts of Africa. 107 species and subspecies of lemur only on the island of Madagascar. It is truly remarkable. And then for that R&R and real getaway beach enjoyment at the end of a safari or so on, we do Mauritius and, of course, the Seychelles. Now, some of you may be wondering why you don't see West Africa filled in anywhere or any of the countries of West Africa. We are a luxury company, so we're watching West Africa very, very closely. Currently, there's just not enough product to string together itineraries that would live up to and allow us to maintain our position in the market as a luxury company. There are pockets. They're coming up all the time. Things are changing in West Africa almost daily. So we are sitting on top of it. We are watching it very, very closely. And it is our hope that West Africa will come quite soon. So do stay tuned for news on that as we add it to our portfolio. So all of the itineraries that we create are going to include those internal regional flights within Africa. Of course, all the transfers moving around, accommodations, whether that be hotels in these main cities or lodges and camps when we're out on safari. Most meals are included. This is very important because a lot of companies these days who are doing safaris don't include most meals, and when they're out in the bush on safari, there's nowhere to go. There's no Capital Grill down the road or a McDonald's across the street or whatever it might be. Everything is done. They're in a very remote setting. So it just makes sense you include all the meals while they're on safari. So for us on the safari portion of the itinerary, breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be included every single day. For also in the cities, we always include breakfast in the hotel. And then there will be certain dinners or lunches included on touring and so on. So I make mention of that because a lot of companies choose to leave off the meals because it lowers the price. And then the client gets there and they get to the lodge in the middle of nowhere. It's like, oh, well, you have dinner included the first night. You wanted dinner every night? Well, sign here. And they have to pay extra. We simply will not do that to them. We do use the services of local guides. These are walking encyclopedias. They truly, truly know everything inside out their cities, or if they're certain parts of Africa, if they're game rangers and so on when they take out on the game drives. And we include as little or as much sightseeing as the client wants. This is particularly true in the cities. Always all the major highlights, very important. But, it's really important. If a client just wants to take an afternoon and do some downtime, that's absolutely fine. I highly encourage it. Go and find a little wine bar in Cape Town, somewhere down on the waterfront, or a coffee shop, and just stop, take in where you are, and watch the world go by. It's a great way to do it. And with those people in Africa, we are, of course, offering that 24/7 support, both here in the United States and in Africa. So, as I mentioned earlier, 85% of everything we do is tailor made, i.e., custom FIT. We have two different styles of small group departures. These are preset departures. So we have our locally hosted. This is what we call our classic collection. And then we have our fully escorted. This would be our concierge collection. So it's an elevated experience from the classic. Both are still at a luxury level, but the escorted just for those who like to have that same person with them from day one to day end. You guys are on 15% commission for pretty much everything. I think the only exception to that would be the Rovers rail journeys, which we can work with you for in Africa. Those are at 10%. But everything else on the land and so on is going to be at that 15% commission. And of course, Africa, yes, it certainly comes with a reasonably too high ticket level. So your commission checks are always going to have that comma in it. I know you love to see that. So let's talk a little bit about the different styles of travel. So those custom FITs or independent travel. But when we say independent travel, we are not literally throwing them to the lions or anything crazy, and excuse that pun. We are still with your clients every step of the way, but it means that when they're touring in Cape Town or Nairobi or Johannesburg or whatever it might be, that they're going to have private cars, private guides, and so on. So there's a lot of private services that are provided to them. They can pick and choose whatever day they wish to depart. We can talk to you about what are the best lodges and camps for them specifically. So it really allows us to customize to a very, very high degree exactly what is best for this client. We have a million questions for you because knowing exactly what floats their boat, what turns them on when they travel is really important to us. And of course, it is going to provide that totally seamless experience. The number one thing we hear from everybody coming back from Africa is that this was a life-changing experience. And experience is truly what it is all about. From amazing hotels, down on the bottom right side there, you see this is Shipwreck Lodge in Namibia. It's extraordinary. It's on the Skeleton Coast, high on the dunes, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. It's just an amazing, amazing lodge. Hot air balloons, of course. In the middle, you can see the dugout canoe experiences in Botswana. We call this the Makoros. There is always champagne and wine and gin and tonics and coffee and tea for those who would prefer that, flowing at every step of the way. And bathroom facilities are incredible. So this truly is a luxury experience. So now our classic collection, these are our locally hosted. So what will happen here is, yes, we are still with the clients every single step of the way. But at each different component, the guide will change. So the guide is with them from the time they step off the aircraft in spot A to the time that they will get back on the aircraft in spot A and move to spot B. Again, the guide will meet them in spot B, a new guide, and will be with them. These are people who are truly, truly experts in their individual regions, locations, cities, destinations, whatever it might be. The groups do vary between 6 and 20. This is very much depends on the itinerary. Some of them are just that much more exclusive for places like Botswana, which is Botswana is Africa for your soul. And truly, only having 6 people on that group just makes for such a special, special trip. And then we can go up to 20. Generally, and if we do have 20 on a departure, there will never be more than 12 actually together at any one time. So if there were sort of 18, it might be split into 9 and 9 or 12 and 6 or whatever works best for the makeup of the group. The other thing about us is that in safari vehicles, we never allow more than 6 people in a vehicle. There are 10 seats in these vehicles, but we do not allow more than six. But it does have those locally hosted expert guides. These are definitely our most value driven trips, but still at that high end luxury level. And the value truly is just simply amazing, absolutely incredible. Then we move up into those escorted vacations, the concierge collection. So this is taking the classic and just elevating it with additions like laundry is included everywhere. All of the flights are always going to be included rather than being add-ons at time of planning. All of the gratuities are included, and there is going to be from day one to day end a dedicated travel director or escort with them. They will also still have that secondary level of guiding, i.e., the local experts will also be there at each and every step of the way. So they're going to have two levels basically of attendant and guiding while they're on these. And these are kept to a maximum of 14 guests. So, how do we stack up against the competitions? I mentioned earlier, there are plenty of people who are doing Africa. In general, our groups really are smaller. I see most of the other companies who do Africa, they start at about 16. Many of them go up to 24. Some of them 36. Some of them even 40. We would never have groups that large unless you wanted to put together a custom group, because we can do that as well. We always include much more. We'll talk about those meals, but lots of other things. And in general, because we own and operate our own services in Africa, we can offer greater value. So when you're comparing apples to apples, it must be oranges to oranges or apples to apples. We are usually coming in somewhere around 18, 20, 23% at better value than our competitors. Now, here's a really cool thing that you can do. If you've ever thought about leading your own group to Africa or have considered just putting together a group to Africa, you don't necessarily have to travel, but of course, it is a great opportunity for you to do so. I will tell you that group contracts to Africa are very complicated. The lodges and camps really, they're small, they're intimate, they don't have a lot of space, so they're very strict on those deposits when they need them and so on. So, what we encourage you to do is to look at our already created set departures. That would be the classics and the concierge. You can take a look at those, and if you see something that you really like there, let us know. If there's nobody yet booked on it, for $1,000 down, you can take over that whole departure. So it may be that it's only 3 or 4 rooms on it, 6 or 8 people. There might be a 6 room allotment on it, which would give you 12, or a 10 room, up to a 10 room allotment, giving you 20 that you could do. Great thing about this is that once you put the $1,000 down, you can then sell that a room here, a room there, a room in 3 months, a room in 4 months, slowly but surely fill it up. So you aren't tied to those very stringent deposit deadlines that these lodges put on when we do a custom group contract. So that's all. We've taken care of all of that. Once you do sell a room, your clients just need to put down a 10% deposit. That's a very low deposit for Africa. And then their final payment is due at 90 days. And one of the great things about this is if you do take over a group that has a larger number of rooms, for every 10 guests that you sell, you can travel for free. So this is your opportunity to experience Africa for yourself on a complimentary basis. It really is a great way to do it, and we take all of the difficult work out of those group contracts. So do think about that. I know it was a lot of information to take in about groups, but we are very happy always to spend time, answer specific questions about it, and so on. So, what other ways do we have to help you? Well, our advisor portal, I hope you've all signed up for that now. If you haven't, please go ahead and do look on our website, and you'll see it up at the top right hand corner in the banner. You'll see advisors. You can sign up there. All you'll need is your IATA number, and it will prompt you to create your own personal password, and then you'll have access to it. We have so many tools in there because we really truly are loyal to you as advisors. On the front side of our website, you're just going to see a lot of pretty pictures and suggested itineraries. There isn't much, there's no booking engine, nothing like that. I always say, I almost don't care if your clients never see our website. I just want to be sure that you know where our website is, how to find it, and that you're signed up, because in the back side of the website, i.e., the advisor portal, you are going to find all of a plethora of information and tools and brochures and marketing stuff, all sorts of pictures, videos, all sorts of things that you can use to make selling Africa easy. We do have our Travel Advisor Academy. I'm going to talk about that in a little second. We periodically do our own webinars throughout the year. And of course, we do have available educational fam trips. Those will all go up on the advisor portal. You'll be able to see them and apply for them there. We also open our whole FIT portfolio to you. So this means that you can actually create an itinerary as if you were a client traveling on an FIT custom basis, and then we would apply an advisor discount to your trip. It allows you then to take somebody that you love and care for to Africa, because when you do this and get an advisor discount, that advisor discount also applies to one traveling companion of your choice traveling in the same room as you. And then, of course, we've just got all that dedicated support for you all the time. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do like to mention, because, in so many destinations, low season, or as we call it in Africa, the green season, is time when people just don't really like to travel. I want to tell you that in Africa, it's a wonderful time to travel. There are so many good reasons to do it. And it's not like Northern Europe, where in low season it's cold, or it's dreary and gray and miserable and drizzly all day. In Africa, it's still, you're going to get rain. That's what low season often translates into. But it's like a tropical downpour, 45 minutes an hour, and then the sun comes out and boop, it's all dried up, and away we go, and onward with the program. But as I say, there are lots of great reasons to travel in low season or green season. So I do always just like to make mention of that. This is our 2026 digital brochure. It is our main brochure. It will very shortly be changing. I'm sorry, I don't have the updated one for 27. That will be coming out in 3 weeks. So I will have this all changed. Yet another spectacular cover will be coming on the 27 one. But we do offer all of our brochures in digital format. This means the brochure is always 110% up to date. It also means that you are able to personalize these brochures. So you can put your call to action on, your logo, your phone number, your email, your name, as much or as little information as you want to update it with, to make it your brochure. So it's a really cool way. So you're sending to your client your brochure rather than ours. And as you do that, if you send Cunard, it's got 1-800 Cunard on the bottom of every page. If you personalize this, all of the African travel contact information falls off, and the only information your client is getting is yours. The other thing we do is, as I mentioned earlier, we do recognize that everybody travels a little bit differently. So we've created all these mini brochures that talk to all sorts of different demographics. Your solo traveler, the LGBT plus community through our Pride Safaris, the honeymooners, and so on. And of course, families. I would be very amiss if we didn't spend just a couple of seconds talking about families in Africa, because Africa is amazing for families. It is simply incredible. I get asked all the time, what is the age group for families? Well, To be very honest with you, I always say 9 and up is the sweet spot. Between 6 and 9, it very much depends on the children. They are going to be, when you go out on game drives, 2.5, 3 hours in a vehicle. Not all kids are great with that. And so it just depends on the children. But 9 and up, oh, for goodness, it's a very educational. It's amazing, amazing experience. I will be very honest that under 6, it's a big troop movement. They don't really understand or appreciate where they are. And so it's always kind of say 6 and under, that's kind of what Animal Kingdom is for. 6 and above, let's start talking. And they'll never go back to Animal Kingdom again once you've shown them the real thing. I mentioned earlier that we do have our Advisor Academy. I'm not going to spend or let this run the whole way through. It's got a lot of information on it, but it is a great, great thing to do. You'll find this on the Advisor portal. It's got so many different components to do it. You can do this at your leisure. There's lots of interaction with it. You can click on all of these images and icons and maps and all sorts of things to get more information about different places in Africa, different experiences. It talks about all sorts of really cool things. The age-old discussion about luggage and how much luggage can you take. It does depend on the flight and the route, but we will talk about that as well. And also really in detail about lots of different areas of Africa. So this is the most in-depth, detailed training on Africa there is. And it truly, truly is fantastic. So I hope you will all take it. Said you can take your time, pick up and leave off where you want. And it's a really great piece for you. The other thing that we have created is our advisor guide, cheat sheet on all things Africa and African travel. We've done all sorts of cool things here. If your clients like blue water cruising, why Safari will work for them. If they're foodies, why Safari will work for them. We look at the Make Travel Matter experiences, and we also take a look at different times of the year to go, what to expect in some of the top destinations in Africa. What are some of the top experiences? There are links to suggested itineraries. There are videos built into here. We also have it's wonderful places like Botswana, I mentioned earlier, Africa for Your Soul, Rwanda, all about the gorilla trekking, taking life changing to the next level. On the back, it is a digital piece. You'll find a lot of, or in the back section, a lot of frequently asked questions, and then ways to contact us. So it's a really great piece. You guys loved this so much that as advisors, you asked us if we would create a similar piece for your clients. So we have done that. On the left-hand side is your advisor guide. On the right-hand side is the client-facing version of this. What are the changes? What are the differences? First and foremost, like everything we have, you can personalize this one. So you can put your call to action on it before sending it out to your clients. Of course, we have removed all kind of advisor speak from it. And then things like in the advisor version, when you click on a suggested itinerary, it opens in our website. An advisor version, when you click on a video in our website. But on the consumer version, when they click on an itinerary, it opens as a PDF. When they click on a video, it opens in a YouTube channel. So we're never ever directing your clients to our website. We always want you to be in control of what they're seeing and that you're their first point of contact. Number one resource that we bring to the table for you guys, three-way conference calling. This is where we get you, your client, and one of our Safari specialists on the phone together. But what is so important to us is that you are the star of the show. So even if you know nothing about Africa, as you go onto one of these conversations, we're going to make it sound as though you know all about Africa. And any ideas that we have, we are going to put those out there as being your idea that we are endorsing. So even if you know nothing, we'll be happy. And by that, but with this, we can talk to your client. We can find out what really would be a great fit for them. And so it's a wonderful time saver for you, certainly a much more efficient experience for your client. And the great thing about these, it is an 80% plus success rate. We get closure on 80% or on more than 80% of those calls. It's a great, great way to do it. If you haven't already joined us on Facebook, you will see that we actually have two pages. So we have our regular African travel page, but we fairly recently started a new group that is just for advisors. It's by invitation only. So this QR code will open that, and then you'll be able to put in and ask to join that special group of advisors on our Facebook group. And there you're going to see all sorts of insider information, special deals, things like that, just for you as an advisor on that group. If you don't have a chance to look at it right now, just let me know afterwards. You are going to get my email at the end, and I'll be able to, you can reach out to me and I'll send it to you. Similarly, everything that we have talked about today, all of our marketing resources, our access to everything, all of our brochures and so on are available to you on a Linktree page. So you can do it with this QR code. It will open on your phone, but it is actually a website. This is not an app or anything like that. So it will just purely open as a web page, but you can do that. And everything, you have access to it all. You can then take that, copy and paste that address from your phone, send it to yourself in an email, because it also will operate and open up on a laptop or on a desktop or any kind of computer or any device at all. Again, if you don't have the ability to access that QR code right now, just drop me a line afterwards and I will be happy to send you the link to that page. We do have a special promotion that is ongoing right now. So it started just a couple of weeks ago in April, and it's running through the end of June. This is truly incredible. It's not often that I see up to $1,000 savings per person. It is dependent on the value of the trip that is being booked, but it is on everything that we have. There is a booking code for it, so it's SAVE26Q2. But if you don't have a chance to take that down, contact me afterwards. I'll be happy to send you that code for you separately as well. So bottom line is we are here to work together with you. We've got your back on all things Africa. We truly want to make selling Africa easy. We want you to experience Africa, and we absolutely want your clients to experience this life-changing, amazing destination. Every trip is simply filled with wow moments. It really is incredible. So I'm going to play a very quick video. I hope the sound works. If for some reason it doesn't, Rochelle, scream and let me know the sound is not working. It does take a couple of seconds before you will hear sound, and then we'll see. Hopefully you'll get to hear it. So this is our sales team based all across the United States, but the only one you really need to worry about is myself. I'm very happy to be your primary contact. I am based in Florida. So I think, and I don't know where you guys are all based, but I know there's some connection there with Florida. So hopefully that certainly helps. But so please, you've got my email address up on the top there. You also have the website there. As I said earlier, if you please go to that and do make sure you sign up for the advisor portal. So much information for you there. The 800 number, anytime that you're ready to start making a reservation or want to talk to one of our Safari specialists and start creating something for a client, that 800 number's there. And when you call the 800 number, we are not a company that says press one for this and two for that and 12 for something else. Somebody always answers the phone. That's really, really important to us. So with that, I do thank you all very, very much. I do believe I saw a couple of comments. So let me just take a quick run through that. A lot of people saying hello, which is great. Rochelle, thank you so much for putting that QR code for the advisor group Facebook page and also for the advisor hub. You are a star. You've got it all covered. Thank you. That's wonderful. So I'm not actually seeing any questions, but in case I missed anything, Rochelle, if there's anything you saw that I missed on as an actual question, I would be happy to answer that. But as I say, you've certainly got my email address, so please, everybody, reach out. Anything that I can help you with, I'll be happy to do that. And with that, I'm going to kick it back to you, Rochelle. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for such a wonderful presentation. So, if you guys have any question right now, please feel free to ask. Do you guys have any questions before we end this webinar?
I always say, Rochelle, if there's no questions, I guess we really covered some ground, right?
Yes, yes, we really do covered everything today, Kevin. Thanks to you. And so without further ado, let's end this webinar. So let's wrap up our Monday webinar. Again, thank you so much, Kevin, and to our amazing agents today who joined our Monday webinar. Thank you. We appreciate your time and insights for today. Have a fantastic day ahead. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye for now. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks. Have a good one. Take
Have
care.
a good one. Take
Okay.
care.
Bye. Bye.